Good evening, and welcome to Mondays at Main and Mumford. Please welcome our musical guests, the Three Sheets.
Well, we should tell them
Tell them.
that we missed you on St. Patty's Day, but we're back here at half St. Patty's Day and hope to be with you in 2021. Tommy, what's the first song?
First song that Three Sheets likes to do is a drinking song that comes from Ireland. What a surprise. It's called Whiskey in the Jar. As I was going over Kilgarry Mountain, I spied Colonel Farrell and his money he was counting. I drew forth my pistol and I rattled out my saber, crying, "Stand and deliver, for I am the bold deceiver." Whoosh-a-ring-a-dum-dum-day. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Those gold and silver coins, they sure did look inviting. So I picked up the money and I took it home to Molly. She promised and she swore that she never would deceive me. But the devil's in them women and they never can be easy. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now when I awoke was between 6 and 7. The guards were around me in numbers uneven. I sprang for my pistols, but alas, I was mistaken. For Molly took my pistols and the prisoner I was taken. Mush-a-ring-a-dum-dum-day. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. They threw me in jail without judge or right for robbing Colonel Farrell on that damn Kilgarry Mountain. But they didn't take my fist, so I knocked the sentry down and bid a fond farewell to that jail in Salem town. Mush-a-ring-a-dum-dum-day. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. All right, take it. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now some take delight in fishing and in bowling, and others take delight in those carriages a-rolling. But I take delight in the juice of the barley, and courting pretty maidens in the morning, bright and early. Mush-a-ring-a-dum-dum-day. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Mush-a-ring-a-dum-dum-day. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Whiskey in the jar. I could use a little bit inside me, too. Well, we got a theme going here with this, so we're going to do another song about drinking. But this one's a little
My
different.
whistle needs to be wet.
Okay, go right ahead. This one doesn't involve whiskey, this involves brandy. But it's a story about a fellow who's all by himself in the bar, got his head laid on a little keg of brandy there. And he's being wistful about his life as it's passed. And he's thinking about the girl that he's hoping would come and take him home, Molly O'Neill. It's a song called Keg of Brandy. I'm always drunk and I'm seldom sober. I'm went roving from town to town. But I'm old now, my sporting's over. So Molly O'Neill, won't you lay me down? So lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking of lovely Molly from the County Clare. Now the ripest apple is the soonest rotten. The warmest love is the soonest cold. A young man's fancy is soon forgotten. So beware, young maids, and don't make so bold. So lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking of lovely Molly from the County Clare. Now youth and folly make young men merry, and it makes them tarry a long, long day. What can't be cured, love, must be endured, love. So farewell, darling, I'm going away. So lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking of lovely Molly from the County Clare. So lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking of lovely Molly from the County Clare. Of lovely Molly from the County Clare. Woo-hoo, all that air. Breathing all that air.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, okay.
It's always some girl named Molly, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
The broken hearts left in the wake.
well, it's once you get beyond Molly, you got all those Irish weird names that the ladies have, Saoirse and Siobhan, and then you get confused. And you notice how Molly is the most proper one, Mary or Molly. It's just
And
easy.
it rhymes with folly.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
We're going to do a very popular song in sessions, both for singing and for playing. And I'm going to play this on an unusual instrument. This is called a cello banjo, and it's tuned an octave below a standard tenor banjo. It's very popular in the 1890s to about 1920 when banjo orchestras were the thing, especially for women. And a lot of people don't realize what a cultural thing it was. They actually made small banjo necks for smaller hands, smaller framed women. They're called A-scale banjos. Very sweet.
I always thought the ladies would have too much class to want to play.
Oh no! This was definitely
'Cause Bill
upper
doesn't
middle
care.
class phenomenon back in there. The Irish people picked up the banjo in the late 19th century and never looked back. So here's our version of a little beggar.
Beggar Man. All right.
Whoops.
I am a little beggar and a beggar I have been. With 3 score more on the food I have been. I'm the Lippy to the basin to the zoo, and I go by the name of Old Johnny Doo. Of all the trades in Ireland, the begging is the best. When a man is tired, he can sit him down and rest. Begging for his dinner, he has nothing else to do but to slip around the corner with his old rigadoo. I slept in the barn one night in Carabon. A shocking red tide when I slept through the dawn. There were holes in the roofs and the rain dust coming through, and the rats and the cats, they were playing peekaboo. Who should I awaken but the woman of the house, with her fine spotted apron and her fine gingham blouse? She began to get excited and all I said was boo. Don't be afraid at all, it's only Johnny Doo. I met a little girl when walking out one day. Good morning, little flaxen-haired girl, I would say. Good morning, little beggar man, and how do you do? With your rags and your tags and your old rigadoo. About your leggings and a collar and a tie. A nice young lady I'll be courting by and by. I'll buy a pair of goggles and I'll color them blue. An old-fashioned lady I will make her too. So all along the high road with my bag upon my back, over the fields with my bulging heavy sack, in my shoes and my toes a people blue, singing skid on the rickadoo with me old rigadoo. I spent going to bed for it's getting late at night. The fire's all rig and out goes the light. For now you heard the story of my old rigadoo, so goodbye and God be with you from old Johnny Doo. Oh, I must be going to bed for it's getting late at night. The fire's all rig and out goes the light. For now you heard the story of my old rigadoo. So goodbye and God be with you from old Johnny Doo. Little Beggar Man. Nicely done, Bill, on his cello banjo. Now it justifies the purchase. the one tune. So we'll switch gears on those little happy, jaunty tunes. I want to do one that we discovered a few years ago when we were doing it. All of us here, and a lot of people out in the audience, I'm sure, have family that are immigrants. That's what this country is, a bunch of immigrants. My grandfather came over in 1912, and Owen's grandfather's still on the run, right? They're still looking for him. And the same with Bill's family came over. But a lot of people came over to Ellis Island. And Ellis Island, a lot of people might not know, opened in 1892 in January, 4th day of January. And the first person to get off the boat, as they said then, and to come into Ellis Island was a young girl from Ireland named Annie Moore. And she had her 2 younger brothers with her. Now, Annie Moore hadn't seen her mother and father for over 3 to 4 years, so she had grown tall. Her biggest fear was they wouldn't recognize her. And when she got off the boat, there was bands playing and all this bunting, and they gave her a $10 gold piece. When she thought, this is a great country. Everybody gets $10 when they come in, which wasn't true. It was just for her, right? When you go to Ellis Island, you can see a statue of Annie Moore with her 2 brothers facing Ireland. And if you go to Ireland and Cork, where she left, on the quay there, you'll see a statue of Annie Moore looking west toward New York. So a fellow named Brendan Graham wrote this tune that we absolutely love, because we know that a lot of people came into Ellis Island, didn't make it,
had to go back or were very sick, and some even passed away there from illnesses. So they called it the Isle of Hope, the Isle of Tears.
And it's important to remember that at the last census of the United States, something on the order of 12 million ancestors has passed through Ellis Island, and on the order of 30% of all Americans at that time could trace their lineage to someone who passed through Ellis Island.
So we'll do Isle of Hope, Isle of Tears. On the 4th day of January, 1892, they opened Ellis Island and they let the people through. And the first to cross the threshold of that Isle of Hope and Tears was Annie Moore from Ireland, who was all of 15 years.
Isle of hope, Isle of tears, Isle of freedom, Isle of fears. But it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of hunger, Isle of pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of home is always on your mind.
In a little bag she carried all her past and history, and her dreams for the future in the land of liberty. And courage is the passport when your old world disappears. There's no future in the past when you're only 15 years.
Isle of hope, Isle of tears, Isle of freedom, Isle of fears. But it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of hunger, Isle of pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of home is always on your mind.
When they closed down Ellis Island in 1943, 17 million people had come there for sanctuary. And in springtime when I came here and I stepped onto its piers, I thought of how it must have been when you're only 15 years.
Isle of hope, Isle of tears, Isle of freedom, Isle of fears. But it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of hunger, Isle of pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of home is always on your mind. Isle of hope, Isle of tears, Isle of freedom, Isle of fears. But it's not the isle you left behind. That Isle of hunger, Isle of pain, Isle you'll never see again. But the Isle of home is always on your mind. Yes, the Isle of home is always on your mind.
Nice, very nice, Roman. Well done. Well, now Bill's brought almost all his banjos with him tonight.
I think it's time to keep it real, don't you, Tom?
We can.
Explain that to them. What do we mean? It's time to keep it real.
Time to keep it real. Well, got a collection of reels, Irish reels here, that Bill's going to get here together on his banjo. He's going to be playing. This is your
Tenor.
his tenor banjo.
tenor.
Owen will keep with his guitar because it's just safer that way, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And a couple of Irish reels put together. First one's called Over the Moor to Maggie.
And that's mid-19th century.
Yeah. And then the next one's called Sergeant Early's Dream.
And that comes from about 1900. Sergeant Early was a sergeant in the police force of Chicago who worked for the Irish-American police chief, whose name was James O'Neill. And he gathered around him all sorts of great Irish musicians. So I don't know if Sergeant Early wrote this or if it was in tribute to him, but he was a very fine uilleann pipe player, and this is a great tune. And we'll finish up with another 19th century piece from Ireland called The Broken Pledge, which the folklorists tell me has something to do with Lent, but I wouldn't know.
So it's a religious tune.
I think most pledges made during Lent have been broken.
Well, that's why there's a song.
Yeah.
You ready, boys?
There you go. Well done, Bill.
Thank you.
His fingers never left his hand. Did you notice
Oh,
that?
that was amazing.
He was amazing.
But my pick did.
No
His
fingers
pick-
went
his-
flying into the audience.
Yeah,
It's nice when that happens.
good thing. Well, you know, for the Irish have lots of interesting humor. Some of it very dark, and some of it very just broad. This next one we want to do actually is a comment on marriage, or on the, I guess, the state of
Textiles.
textiles. Depends how you look at it.
It's about international commerce.
And international commerce. It's a tune called The Ballad of William Bloat. And all I can say is do not do this at home. Don't blame us, right? In a mean abode down the Shankill Road lived a man named William Bloat. And he had a wife, the bane of his life, who always got his goat. So one day at dawn with her nightdress on, he slit her bloody throat. Now he was glad he had done what he had, as she lay there stiff and still, till suddenly all of the angry law filled his soul with an awful chill. So to finish the fun so well begun, he decided himself to kill. So he twisted the sheet from his wife's cold feet, and he twisted it into a rope. And he hanged himself from the pantry shelf. 'Twas an easy and let's hope. With his dying breath and in face and death, he solemnly cursed the Pope. But the strangest turn of the whole concern is only just beginning. He went to hell, but his wife got well, and she's still alive and sinning. For the razor blade was German made, but the rope was Belfast linen. It's a good strong rope you can make out of a. That's why they don't, in Irish prisons, there's no Belfast linen allowed.
No.
Because you can sneak, it's too strong.
All kinds of German blades, though.
All types of stuff like that. So we'll do a leaving song, shall we? Because after that, people might want us to leave. This was one of the most, a lot of groups did this song, so we have to do it, of course. But it was a very popular tune.
A lot
long-
of groups did this song, but the most famous kids from Liverpool never did this song.
You're probably absolutely right.
What is
Yeah.
that about?
They might have done it in private, but never
Maybe,
recorded
never
it,
in
you
front
know.
of anyone.
But Liverpool is a big commerce city there, industrial city, and a lot of people might not know, but a lot of Irish immigrated over to Liverpool for jobs. So they actually call Liverpool the Irish city of England, is what it is.
And Liverpool's very much like Baltimore in terms of the industrial city. The River Mersey flows through it. On one side, it's very industrial. On the other side, there's a salt marsh, not unlike what you find on Chincoteague.
So this comes from the sailing days when sailors had to put to sea and leave for a while to come back. And of course, they always lamented about who they left behind them. So it's called the Leaving of Liverpool. Fare thee well to Prince's Landing Stage, River Mersey, fare thee well. I am bound for California. It's a place that I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. I am signed on a Yankee sailing ship. Davy Crockett is her name, and Burgess is the captain of her, and they say that she's a foolish. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. I have sailed with Burgess once before. He's a man I know right well. But if a man is a sailor, he can get along, and if nothing, he is sure in hell. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Get out of the way, it's a banjo solo. Here it comes. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. So fare thee well, my own true love, and when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Woohoo! All that air again. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I was expecting another solo in there, so I got lost.
I was thinking about it. I wasn't sure, but he's contracted to 2 banjo solos
That's true.
a gig, so
Yeah, that's true.
he has to have 2. So I didn't want to stomp on that and have that other one. Time is of the essence.
So we're going to go back to Ireland, into the town of Galway. Galway's a port city. It doesn't have much of a beach. Nobody swims in Galway Harbor. It's kind of commercial. But they do swim about 2 miles up the coast in a little town called Salt Hill. And you'll hear that in the lyric. This young man falls in love with a Salt Hill girl.
Goes on the Salt Hill Promenade.
It's a song by Steve Earle where he merged 2 traditional Irish reels and put sort of an unrequited love theme to it.
Well, I took a little stroll of a long, long walk of a day, and I met a little girl and we stopped to talk on a fine soft day, And I asked you, friend, what's a fella to do if her hair was black and her eyes were blue? And I knew right then I'd be taking a whirl around the Salt Hill Prom with a Galway girl. We were halfway there when the rain came down on a day, and she asked me up to her flat downtown, have a fine soft day, And I asked you, friend, what's a fella to do? 'Cause her hair was black and her eyes were blue. So I took her hand and I gave her a whirl, and I lost my heart to a Galway girl. When I woke up, I was all alone, with a broken heart and a ticket home. And I ask you now, tell me what would you do if her hair was black and her eyes were blue? I traveled around, I've been all over this world, boys, I ain't seen nothing like a Galway girl. No, I ain't seen nothing like a Galway girl. No, I ain't seen nothing like a Galway girl. Woo! Galway girl. It's still going. Getting all of that sound out of that guitar tonight.
We were going to change it to be Chincoteague Girl, but it's too many syllables.
Yeah, yeah. Little Beggar Man's already tough enough.
Yeah.
But to add Chincoteague to it.
People ask why I bring so many banjos.
Who asked that?
You do all the time.
I know, I do.
And it's out of due consideration for the time of the audience.
Oh, is that right?
They're actually very similar, but they're all in different tunings, so I don't have to stand up here and try to put it in tune. Tuning a banjo is very hard.
This would be like a 3-hour concert just for the two.
Yeah, that's right. And Tom runs out of bad jokes. So.
Yeah. I've only
So I bring banjos.
Yeah. Only so much I can do, you know.
This is an old Irish song, sped up, written by a man who was protesting England all the time. And his whole family, the Behan family, this is Dominic Behan, who wrote this one, was protesting the post-World War II use of young Irish men to build the roads and the dams in Britain, and they were terribly abused. There was no OSHA, there was no health insurance, and when the young men got hurt on the job, they were simply cast away. So this is a tune about a very tall, very handsome, very strong young man whose name was Jack, and he broke his back. It's Crooked Jack.
Crooked Jack. Come, Irishmen, both young and stern, with adventure in your soul. There are better ways to spend your days than working down a hole.
I was tall and true, all of 6'2", when they broke me across the back. By a name I know, it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack.
Well, the gangers, blue-eyed, red bullseye, they jacked
Could do no wrong, and the reason simply was because I could work hard hours and long. I was tall and true, all of 6'2", when they broke me across the back. By a name I know, it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack.
Well, I've seen men old before their time,
Their faces drawn and gray. Oh, I never thought so soon would mine be lined the self-same way. I was tall and true, all of 6'2", when they broke me across the back. By a name I know, it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack.
well, I curse the day that I went away to work on the hydro dams. For sweat and tears from our hopes and fears bound up in shut-in jams.
I was tall and true, all of 6'2", when they broke me across the back. By a name I've known, it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack.
Well, they say that honest
Toil is good for the spirit and the soul. But believe me, boys, it's for sweat and blood that they want you down the hole. I was tall and true, all of 6'2", when they broke me across the back. By a name I've known, it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. I was tall and true, all of 6'2", when they broke me across the back. By a name I know, it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack.
Crooked Jack.
Thanks, everybody, for
Thank
listening.
you. Thank you all for
Be
hanging
well,
in there with
stay
us.
safe.
Right?
See you hopefully next St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're looking forward to.
And
Say-
go online, donate to Chincoteague Island Arts Organization and the theater to keep this place up and running. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good night.